So we mentioned about the consultation in spring 2025 to support consideration of how powers to exempt certain types of property from rent could be used. This will include how new housing built or developed specifically for private rent, including for mid-market rent, would be treated, and in circumstances where rents may be increased above the level of that rent cap. Whilst we consider that setting out any exemptions from rent control should be in secondary legislation, we are taking steps to bring this consultation forward early, whilst the bill is still being progressed, to make sure that those regulations can be laid at the earliest opportunity if the bill is passed. Our wider reforms in the bill for the rented sector brings forward a range of changes that will help improve both how the rented sector operates and the renting experience for tenants. Recognising there are certain circumstances and times of year where being evicted can be particularly problematic, the bill creates a duty on the tribunal and court to consider whether there should be a delay to the enforcement of an eviction except in certain circumstances. However, in cases of antisocial or criminal behaviour, it would be really reasonable to delay an eviction. The bill will help to improve the renting experience through strengthening rights for private residential tenants to make certain changes to their home, and for most private and social tenants to have a right to ask to keep a pet and not be unreasonably refused. Now, last week I visited the Scottish SPCA's Edinburgh Rescue Centre and heard how the measures in the bill will make a real difference to helping families keep their pets. The measures in the bill also include changes for reforming how civil damages for unlawful eviction are calculated, making it easier for a tenant to seek damages for an unlawful eviction. The bill will also enable unclaimed tenancy deposit funds to be used for the benefit of private rented sector tenants. And on domestic abuse, the bill is designed to provide an additional mechanism for joint tenants to end a tenancy where there is no mutual agreement. This will ensure that no joint tenant can be trapped in a tenancy indefinitely against their will, which is important where domestic abuse is a factor. We know that men and women experience homelessness differently. Our response to their housing needs is also different. Our focus on domestic abuse is key, as it is one of the main reasons why women make homelessness applications. 23% of women who make and are seeking homelessness assistance in 23-24 cited the reason as disputes within the household, and it's either violent or abusive. The bill will update the definition of domestic abuse in relation to housing allocations and homelessness legislation to recognise the wide range of behaviours that constitutes domestic abuse, including coercive control. The bill will also put a duty on social landlords to outline in a domestic abuse policy how they will support their tenants experiencing domestic abuse to prevent homelessness. The measures in the bill aim to put a renewed focus on homelessness prevention so that individuals and families do not have to experience the trauma and disruption to lives that homelessness causes. We want to help keep people in their homes where that is possible and appropriate, and in the longer term to ensure that there is less pressure on housing supply and public resources. The measures in the bill have been guided by principles of shared public responsibility, earlier intervention across systems and more choice and control over housing options through avoiding the crisis of homelessness. The new Ask and Act duties for a range of relevant bodies in areas such as health and justice are bold, and they reach further than similar duties that have been introduced elsewhere in the UK. Crucially, the Ask and Act duties have their source in the recommendations of those who have lived experience of homelessness, who pointed to the missed opportunities to prevent homelessness that they had encountered themselves. Now, while Scotland has some of the strongest rights in the world for people who become homeless, we have an important opportunity with the bill to introduce measures to help better protect people who are threatened with homelessness and to shift the focus on early intervention and cooperation across the services. Presiding Officer, in conclusion, there has been extensive stakeholder engagement and consultation to help inform the development of the measures within the bill, and this engagement will continue as the bill progresses through Parliament. I hope we can agree the general principles of this bill are ones that will be welcomed across Scotland. Thank you.